Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. So we start as usually with the DXY, the US dollar currency index. So last week we went to the downside. What I expected was maybe a push up till that weekly same highs because we had here our weekly same lows in a bearish market because this is the last high and this was the last lower low because this one lag from me because the wicks go over into each other. That's why I see it as one lag. So the price didn't do that. So we went back yeah, to the downside. So now I expect maybe a pullback and then more downside momentum to tap these monthly lows again, or to tap the weekly lows to have potentially again some weekly new liquidity, or yeah, some kind of weekly lows that we can tap. So we have that weekly bearish candle close, so we can expect more downside momentum. And as you can see, you could also draw here your descending trend line from here, that first point of structure till that yeah, that second one, and then you can see here tap, we went to the downside, tap, tap, tap. So that's why we also could go to the downside from there. So we have that weekly bearish candle close. I went to the daily, and what I saw on the daily, we had that potential bullish M that could play out, but we broke under it, under this lowest higher low wick. We broke under it, so we are indicational bearish. So what can we expect after an indicational bearish break? We can potentially make the head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder 1, head, this one head for me. Shoulder 2, with that kind of bearish W here that can hold the price down. So you have here a smaller bearish W that can hold the price down here, that can potentially go to that minus 27. So after that impulse, what we received a daily bullish candle close. So we have an indicational candle that can make the pull back in a corrective manner, maybe, or impulsive till that shoulder 1 region here. So that's what I can expect. Of course, we can go further to the downside and make here the bearish W here. This can potentially also play out. We will see, but we have already that indicational candle, so we can expect a pullback maybe, and then for potential more further downside momentum. So on the 4 hour, what can we see? After a very impulsive move, we have some corrective nature. As you can see, always after impulses, you have a lot of correction. So this can be a correction. So how long it will stand, nobody knows, but this is our first point of structure that can hold the price down here. So yes. And also here, this can act like support, which it did, and then like resistance. So this can happen too. But yeah, we will see what will happen. Then the first trade I'm looking at, not that many trades, I'm looking at it now for upcoming Mondays. So GBPCAD is the first one. So if I go on the weekly, what can you see on the weekly? The weekly is still bullish for me because this was our last low here. This was our high, low, then this is our high. These are the same highs. So this is the one impulse for me. And then you have the smaller bullish M here. So that can play out. So we have a bullish M. And what can you see also? You have here the potential shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2 that can play out, so the price can pull back. And within that, you have here that smaller bearish W. And we received that weekly high wick reverse point, which we didn't broke out of it. So the banks and institutes like now take some sells till that potential shoulder 1 here, head, shoulder 2. So I will show it that we can make this pattern. So the shoulder 1 here, like this, then this head here, shoulder 2. So this is the region where we can pull back to. And then I went to the daily when I put it my weekly reverse point. As you can see, this blue horizontal line. And you can see the daily retraced also back with a very nice retrace candle, a rejection candle, sorry. So if I go to the 4 hour now, no, sorry, I will stay on the daily. On the daily, we can make now the potential shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2, within that a bullish M. So the price can come back to that first structure, weekly inverse and shoulders, or that inverse and shoulders on the daily. And I expect it to come to that inverse and shoulders on the daily. So I want to take some partials for around 4% at the shoulder 1 zone. So I went till the 4 hour, and what I saw is the previous structure high was this, and then we made a new high. Then we touched like weekly liquidity zone, weekly reverse point, and now I want to see a close of that next candle opening under this 4 hour reverse point, and then I can take my limit like this on that 4 hour reverse point to the downside till that daily shoulder one zone to take some partials for around 4%. So that's what I want to see on GBPCAD. On AUDCAD, it's already happening. It's the same. So I think AUDCAD will already be a limit for me. Will be placed when the market will go open and the spreads are lower. So I went to the weekly. What can you see on the weekly? Yeah, on the weekly we are still bearish. That's we are in this very correction here, in this big correction here, holding the price down. Potentially a breakout of it, but we didn't broke this weekly highs week, so it's not a confirmed break for me. So this can potentially go for a shoulder one here, head shoulder two potentially, and then we can receive the pullback till that point. But we took some liquidity from that weekly highs where the banks and institutes like to go short. So what we can see if we look closer, the first point of structure is this daily IC. I want to target the daily lows. And on the daily high IC body, I can take also some 4 hour TP and a daily TP on the lows. This is potentially possible. So I can see already we have a daily retrace candle in our direction. So this is an indication that the bears can um, can be present, because after that weekly reverse point highs weeks here that got touched, the banks go short, which is nice to see. So on the daily, we had that indicational candle, and on the 4 hour now, you can see we have also our pattern. So we have here, if I go on the line chart, our previous high 4 hour, then this higher high here, and we had to close below that, and now you can take the trade till the downside on this 4 hour reverse point. So I took 1 pip to the downside, so like this 1 pip to the downside, and then for around 4%, stop loss above this week's till that daily low I see. So that's what I'm looking at now for this upcoming Monday. A few days will be more pairs available to trade. I have some other pairs also, but this needs to have some more development. So I hope you had a nice trading week and see you next week. Bye.